Lights Out? Wait a second, wasn't there already a movie where turning on the lights affects the monster? Wasn't it called like Darkness Falls or something? And Mr. Fred Flintstone is calling this the most inventive movie of the year? Nah. Nah. No. Just, no. 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 Okay, so Lights Out. So Lights Out follows the story of an adult woman named Rebecca, and after leaving home due to some of her childhood fears and questioning what is real and what is not when the lights are turned off, she feels she has left that completely behind. Until her little brother starts experiencing the same things that she used to, which kind of makes Rebecca question that there's something more going on with her family. Where she later finds out that there's an evil entity that's been hovering around the family for quite some time, and it also spells really bad news for the siblings once they start investigating on what this evil entity could be. But as Rebecca and her brother get closer to discovering who and what this entity is, their very lives then become threatened whenever the lights go out, leaving them open for this unknown being to attack them. Now, Lights Out is based off the horror short film that was made back in 2013 with the same name, Lights Out. And that was directed by David Sandberg, which he also came back to... No, that's Kung Fury, dude. The one with the beard. There you go, that's him. And I remember watching the short film, and such a simple concept where it was all based in a hallway and a bedroom, the horror quality was really effective. It's one of those things like the more you think about it, the more it gets under your skin. If you guys haven't watched that short film, I suggest you watch it. It's pretty damn good. And once I heard that they're gonna turn this into a full-length feature film, a part of me was kind of worried because I felt like they were gonna turn it into a generic cliche horror film that teenagers would go out and see anyway because it's the new horror film. And I saw Lights Out, and even with the little expectations I had going into this movie, I gotta tell you guys, I was pretty disappointed, and I'll tell you why. But as always, before we get into why, I'll cover some of the things that I actually really liked about Lights Out, is that this movie doesn't provide false jump scares where they play loud boom sounds whenever like little Timmy comes out from the corner playing Pokemon Go or something. Granted, they do play loud boom sounds like in most horror movies, but they only play it to whenever this evil bitch pops up on screen, and making it more effective, I should say. And director David Sandberg really understands that you can't take these jump scares however you please, only when it's necessary to make a scene more effective in its horror aspect. It felt like he really listened to all those naysayers about jump scares, and he did his absolute best to make his horror film not like all the other horror films, and I really respect that. And just this film alone, it proves how promising he can be as a director later in the future, because this film was shot very well in giving this creepy atmosphere whenever What's-Her-Face pops up. Again, time will tell because he's doing the Annabelle sequel, because we all know how that turned out to be, but it just makes me a little bit more comfortable that he's doing it. And you got the main actors and actresses, and you have Teresa Palmer as the main girl, and she was fine in my opinion, but you also have her brother who was really good in this movie. Everybody across the board gave fine performances, and they played their characters suitable for them, but that's not the main issue I had with the film. Because it takes no time for this movie to take it into an extremely predictable route in both the story and horror aspect to the film, because just 10 minutes into it, you'll be able to point out on what happens next. Story-wise, Teresa Palmer plays a girl who runs away from her family, and she's kind of fucked up towards everybody who has contact with her. She's dating this one dude, and then she's like, oh yeah, it's totally been 8 months we've been dating, and then you're the only guy that I've been seeing. I'm like, okay. Any guy with a brain could easily pinpoint on what she could possibly be hinting at, and they'll be like, oh yeah, she's a total homie hopper. But you take that and have her reunite with her socially awkward family, you guys know what happens next. So you guys are smart people. You guys know what's going to happen next. But that's not even the main problem with the film, is that mostly whenever suspense is being built up in a horror scene, it sets itself totally where it's expected. Because you have the whole concept of the lights going out and the demons there, which, mind you, it does work a couple times, but it felt like this movie was rinsing and repeating itself whenever suspense is being built. Like whenever the lights go off and the movie grabs your full attention, and you're like, alright, Little Miss Sunshine's gonna pop up in 3, 2, 1, oh, there she is, got her. Which is also a concept that kind of shoots itself in its own foot in a way, because like I said, the whole suspense building, it gets pretty old after some time. Since the demon can't show up when the lights are on, all possibilities of her being actually there is totally eliminated. It would have been more effective if like there was darkness in an already lit room, and then the demon uses that as her advantage to creepily watch and study the prey type of thing, which I think it happens in one scene, I believe. But it doesn't make up for the rest of the horror scenes that this movie has that aren't too frightening as you would have hoped for, and it's kind of a shame. Now, is this a horror film that you need to rush out there and see right away in theaters? No, honestly, but it is better than the most cliche ones that you have nowadays, because I say if you want to see Lights Out, you best wait for the red box release. It's a good experience for home movies, but for theaters, not really. Okay guys, have you seen Lights Out, and what did you think about it? And what is your favorite horror film that deals with the dark? We're gonna go with that one. But whatever it is, leave it down below. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that social media shit down below. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, may the Force be with you.